I will be selling my A7S3 and I will be buying the ZV-E1, but I won't be selling the A7S3 to buy the ZV-E1. Guys, what's going on? This is Francois and welcome back to The Image Eye. This is a channel dedicated to helping photographers and videographers find the best gear for their needs. Today, I want to do my follow-up video to why I will be purchasing the Sony ZV-E1 and also why I'm selling my highly vaunted A7S3. So I've had a couple of weeks to think about my decision of why I want to buy the Sony ZV-E1. And I've been watching so many YouTube videos about this camera. I've watched Jason Vong, I've watched Manny Ortiz, I watched my friend It's Sky, and all of the videos are showing the power and I guess I could say the magnificence of this camera. The main thing that is attracting me now to the camera is the lightweight size. I travel a lot here in Korea, a lot, and I'm always having to carry around my Sony A7S3 or A7 IV or my FX30 and other lenses that can become very heavy, and my back is always getting tired. And even though I'm a very strong young man, it's still kind of, troublesome for me to always load all of that gear into my backpack. And then I have to think about, okay, which clothes can I bring? Or do I need to bring 2 bags? But with the Sony ZV-E1, I can bring my A7S3 in a more compact size and still get the same quality of video that I would if I brought the original A7S3. The lightweight size is very attractive, but another thing that is very attractive to me is the autofocus. So my friend It's Sky, and please visit his channel. It's a great channel for gear review. He told me last night, we were having a conversation about it, and he lives in the Netherlands, and he was just telling me how, the Sony ZV-E1's autofocus is crazy good. We are both A7S3 owners, and we rave about the camera all the time. We love the A7S3. It nails focus all the time. It doesn't overheat. It's very dependable. We can take it with us anywhere we want and we'll always get desired results. But he told me that the Sony ZV-E1's autofocus just blows the A7S3 autofocus out of the park. This is my ZV-1 and I've had some great memories with this camera, and you can see how small it is. So you can imagine having the Sony A7S3, all of the functions of this camera inside of this compact, lightweight frame would be amazing. Also, not having to carry a mic around would be great, because even though I love my Sony ECM-B10, I have to screw it off, then I have to screw it onto the hot shoe, and sometimes I can lose the parts that go inside of the hot shoe mount, and then I can lose the part that goes on the actual mic's jack. So yeah, it's just having to carry a camera around that has a dedicated audio function that is of high quality would be great. Fewer things that I need to worry about taking around with me, fewer things that I need to worry about losing. I want that camera. I don't really need the camera, but I want the camera because I think that it can reduce the amount of pain on my back, actually speed up my workflow. And these days I'm getting more into cinematography. So the cinematography modes on the ZV-E1 would actually be a great help. Another way to reduce my workflow, because I can add those bars, those cinematic bars on the top and bottom of the video. However, there's a caveat to adding those bars to your video. Once you add those bars and you want to tweak your video in post, you cannot remove those cinematic bars. You can always shoot the same scene twice. You can shoot one scene with the bars and you can shoot another scene without the bars. And then there is a place in the camera for you to add your own LUTs. So you can go and download the LUTs that you're using currently for your Sony A7S3 or whatever camera you have, and you can install them on the ZV-E1. Bada boom, your LUTs are there, and you can see how your film, how your video will look with your LUTs already applied. Sony has included their creative style, or an advanced form of their creative style, in the ZV-E1. So it just looks like this camera it's just knocking all of the other vlogging cameras out of the park. It would definitely be an upgrade from my ZV-1. This baby is still legit in 2023. If you're taking this camera and you're going out hiking, or if you're going to places where there's a lot of sunlight, this camera is really good for that because there is a dedicated EV filter inside, and also the quality of the image that comes out of this camera during the daylight is great. Not so good at night. Comparison between the ZV-E1 and the ZV-E1 is the IBIS, is the ability to use each camera and to reduce the amount of shakes. So when I use this camera and I'm walking around, if I don't have a gimbal, this camera shakes a lot. And you would expect for it to do that because it's a small camera and it's got a 1-inch sensor inside. However, with the full frame ZV-E1, the shake has been greatly reduced and you can get some amazing shots that won't be distracting to your viewers. Some of my viewers have complained, Francois, your videos are shaky. Fix that. So I'm gonna do it. I will be selling my A7S3 and I will be buying the ZV-E1, but I won't be selling the A7S3 to buy the ZV-E1. I love this camera. I have been through a lot of tough situations with this camera, weddings and my own personal shoots. And this camera was actually a gift to myself when I finished my doctorate studies. So there's some sentimental value to it. But other than that, this camera is just, it's a beast. It's a beast of a machine. And I will be selling this camera, but I'll be selling this camera later when Sony releases the A7S4, or a camera that is comparable to this beast of a machine that has 4K 120, no overheating, and nails autofocus 100% of the time. That's when I'll be selling this camera. I won't be selling this camera to buy the Sony ZV-E1. I'll buy the Sony ZV-E1 when the price comes down a little more, because right now I think it's a bit too expensive. Here in Korea, it's about 2.5 or 6 million won, so it's like 2,300 US dollars, something like that. But I will be getting that camera, or if I can get 300 subscribers to this YouTube channel within the next week or two, I'll go out and buy the camera. The cameras are already here. The ZV-E1s are already at the camera store where I usually shop. So if I can get 300 subscribers to this YouTube channel, I'll go out and I'll buy the ZV-E1. I'll do a 30-minute tutorial on how to use it. And I'll also go out to the countryside or here in Seoul and I'll shoot cinematic videos for you with all of the creative looks, and I'll show you the power that this camera can produce. So yeah, I will be buying the ZV-E1, but a little later. And for right now, my precious Sony A7S3 will be staying here in my lair, in my den. But yeah, anyways guys, thanks a lot for joining the channel. Remember, this channel is dedicated to helping photographers and videographers to buy the best gear. And the best gear is not always the newest gear, so just keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.